In my reflections on my race, somebody, my daughter-in-law sent me a video. Two videos, actually. One was from 2001, and one was from 2023. And they were both at me at the starting line of my race. And the one in 2001, you would have thought I was this small, little, scared person. As the race started, I backed away from the start line and stood in the back. And I remember that moment because I think my mindset was so, I don't belong here. I'm not a runner. Look at those. I need to let everybody else go ahead of me. Like I felt like I was 2 inches tall. And then if you looked in 2023, I still wasn't the strongest runner. That was never my goal, but I was in the middle of the pack running. And I realized that a lot of times when we go to start something new, we start with this very small mentality. Like I automatically had that, oh, I shouldn't be here, that imposter syndrome, that self-doubt. And I always like to think this, am I the only one that feels that? Or have you also had those feelings?
Yeah.
Of being small, going
Yeah.
after something.
I think it's as we enter any new project, goal, in the unknown, right away we feel we have to be up here. We have to be at the level of everyone else. And so as soon as we know we're not, we try to make ourselves invisible and just kind of in with the pack because we don't want any attention to us, which really surprises me because when you start something new, don't you need support and want that attention on you so that you are like, hey, I'm here, help me out. So I think it's just I don't know if it's a gender thing, but I definitely know that like I've done it in the past. I try not to now, but I definitely have done
Yeah.
that in the past.
And that's what I had to change my mindset. I had to change my thought process. And that was the whole transformation piece of the 11 months of my training aspect of it. Yes, I worked on that aspect, but that doesn't mean it doesn't show up in other places
Mhm.
on different things that I'm starting new. It's funny, it doesn't go away.
But I bet you identify it a lot faster.
Yes. Yeah. Tracy E., what do you think?
Yeah, I think that whenever it is that we start something new, our brains immediately go into survival mode and they will try and stop you from doing whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish with overwhelm, smallness, all of those things, because it's risky. And our brains don't like to be faced with risk under any circumstance whatsoever. It also requires a level of energy that we're not used to, regardless of what that goal is, whether it be writing a book or running a race or, showing up on video. It requires a different energy. And again, we're not used to that. So there's this whole feeling of uncomfortableness in doing that. And I think for a lot of us, I know I'm definitely guilty of this. I've taken a goal that I've wanted to do and I've gone, oh no, that's too big. I'm going to choose something smaller. And I immediately get rid of the high goal, the one that I really want, for a lesser goal, because I think I might be able to accomplish that. I think I might be able to be successful at that. And I think we shortchange ourselves so much by doing that. I think if we hold on to that big, audacious bold goal or project or whatever you want to call it. I mean, we keep using the word goal, but you can call it whatever you want. That end result that you're looking for, I think when we hold on to that, and we give ourselves the opportunity to strive for that, we can become so much bigger along the way, and we can have so much more growth along the way than if we just kind of shrink down and go, well, I'm just going to go for this one here, right? This could be a goal that you need to reach in order to get to that one, but this isn't the end destination.
Right.
Yeah, that is perfect. I think when we look at a goal, and the first thought process is, oh, that's too big, that's too much, that's too scary. That's the one you have to write down. That's the one that we have to change our mindset around. And that is the one that you have to start driving towards.
Yeah.
Well, I think imposter syndrome hits you too
Yes.
with this, because again, it's who am I? I think one of you said that. Who am I to actually achieve this dream, this goal? Like, I don't even know what to call it, because it's not just a goal. It's this is where I want to get to. And so you downplay it and you're embarrassed. Because you're like, I'm actually trying to get here. What are people going to think? What are my friends going to think? People's going to judge me. They're going to say, who do you think you are trying to achieve this? And so let's just play it down. Let's just start a little goal, and then we'll warm our friends and family up about, oh, I'm going to do this and not get judged too much. It's really interesting how we do it. And I think what did I watch recently where they talked about how, I don't want to get into a gender thing, but like certain sports athletes, the men, just talk about themselves. They're like, I am the best. And they come in big, and we all kind of collapse and go, I'm here. Hope you notice me.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's you bring up another point, Tracy J, is sometimes we have this huge goal or scary thing or a way of life we want to go towards, or there's a calling we have. And we might start having conversation because we want it to be justified.
Yeah.
And then we start getting people to be like, what? You want to do what? How do you think you can do that? And so then we start, oh yeah, why do I think I can do this? And we start to downplay it. Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Self-doubt. Nobody's going to support us. When I totally believe that we should have conversations, but sometimes we should leave things closer to our chest and not just vomit everything out to whomever, because that's when we start getting pulled in different ways. And so I would talk about my goal of the race, but I never would get into huge mileage aspects of it, because I didn't want to hear people's self-doubt in my ability.
It's interesting. I want to challenge that thought. I'm not so sure it's self-doubt in your ability. I think it's self-doubt in their own ability, thinking about whatever it is that you're about to do. I think a lot of times we reflect on somebody and go, oh God, if you accomplish that, how is this going to affect me?
Yeah.
What does this mean to me? What am I going to do with this information? Right. And so in order to keep you with them, they will say like those kinds of things, right? So, and I really do think it's more of a mirror onto themselves about what your big audacious goal is, as opposed to, because it's scary to have somebody else say something like that, because then you immediately start thinking about, well, what am I doing? Like, what am I, like there is that inner self-reflection.
And we can't say that it's some special person. We can't say, oh, well, this person is this. It's like, wait, that's my, and not that you're ordinary, Michelle, but that's my ordinary friend.
It is. It's like, that's my buddy
it's
Michelle. Oh
ordinary
my God.
friend, and this is what she's achieved.
Yeah.
What Tracy said. What does that make me? Because I'm ordinary too, and I could achieve something.
Yeah, but if I'm out vomiting my goal to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and I keep getting negative feedback, you start taking that in, you start carrying that feedback. But you're right, I agree on both sides of this. That's what I mean by you have to have this dream. And we feel you should pursue the dream, but you shouldn't look to others to quantify the dream.
But here, like, and this is why you had a coach, Michelle. I mean, not only was your coach there to give you the physical wherewithal of training, this is what you're going to need to do for nutrition and all of the nuts and bolts of becoming an ultra marathoner, but she was also your cheerleader, your sounding board, your, like, she had the belief in you before you had the belief in you.
Oh yeah.
And that is somebody that you need in your life when you're going for a big audacious goal.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I would have never been able to do this on my own. And that's another huge thing. If you think that you like you said, Tracy E, there was this goal, whatever you wish to call it, and it was so big and you got so scared by it that you went down because that was more attainable. This bigger goal, the thought process we need to start having is, this is scaring the bejeebies out of me. Who is going to help me achieve this? And how am I going to get there? That should be our next thought. Our next step, not the thought of, oh, that's too big, I need to go smaller.
Because there are those people that are out there, even within your own world, that will support your goal, that will think that that's absolutely amazing. And hey, listen, I'm like, wow, I'll be your biggest cheerleader along the way, and everything. And we just, you know, again, we have to be able to believe in that, in those people, that they are there for us, to go out and do something. And
Right.
not to play it small, not to say, you know, oh, I'm just, you know, going to run a 5K, or when your goal is, I really want to run a half marathon.
Right.
Use a half marathon.
It's funny because I was running against people who had 100-mile goal, 75-mile goal, 50-mile goals. People, and some of those 50-mile goals were in the 12-hour race. I was, you know, not just the 30-hour race. And never once did they make me feel that my goal was any different than theirs.
Right.
And even when my son is the race director, he said, your goal to complete the 50K, and this gentleman who was going for 100 miles is no different. You get treated no different. And so we shouldn't look at a goal. The minute you start to downplay a goal, you need to check yourself. You need to stop it and say, nope, I really want that bigger goal. Who's going to help me get there? That should be your next question.
Well, I think the other thing is there's a dirty word. It's called ego. And it's okay to have.
Where are we going?
It's okay to have some ego. Like it's just got such a bad rap that if you have any type of ego, that you're a bad person, instead of going new project, new dream, whatever. And I'm gonna take my smallness. I'm gonna get rid of it because this is my life. I'm worthy of pursuing whatever I'm pursuing, and I'm going to get in there. And just like your son said, your goal is no different than the other person's goal. You both are trying to accomplish something that is big to you. So
Right.
have a little ego.
Yeah. I like that. I like that word, ego.
Like my dirty word? It's my dirty word.
Yeah. And if you watched the episode before this, about our other dirty word of New Year's resolution or phrase and the non-magic of it, we have to, life is all about living. Life is all about growing. If there isn't, I think the three of us are perfect examples that we don't hit an age and things stop. We're not too late for something. You know, if you're in your 20s and you haven't gotten your degree yet, I didn't get mine until my 50s, that's okay. Like, we didn't start businesses, these personal businesses until later in life. Like, life is about living. It's about growing. It's about expanding. It's about seeing how far you can really grow. And we should be embracing that more so.
Because if it's possible for one person, it's possible for another.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you, you guys were amazed. I was 64. I did my ultra marathon. My partner, his son just did the world's toughest tough mudder. He's in his 30s. He did 50 miles in 24 hours. It's a 5-mile loop. It is 20 obstacles in this 5-mile loop. And there was a woman, 78 years old, that completed her first world's toughest tough mudder and did 25 miles. I did an ultra. I'm like, to me, I'm like, that woman is up here on my eyes. She didn't stop. If you watch the New York Marathon that just happened, or Chicago Marathon, I'm talking running. Talk about people who start businesses, people who, anything. There is no age limit to nothing. There's no book out there that says, well, time's passed.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
And we all need to take up space because we do anyways.
Yep.
So
And
we can't hide, you can't shrink, you can't, I mean, people still see you. It's like, we think we're not being seen or heard. It's easier to pretend that, but we have something to say. That's why we do this channel. We have something to say. We believe in what it is that we're doing. And at the very beginning, we were all like, oh my God, don't let anybody see me. I can't do this. Like, honestly, I mean, and look where we are now.
Miss Tracy E., I'm going to call you out. Last week, you were brave. All of a sudden, I get this live notification. She went live, Tracy G. She went live by herself on social media. I'm like, oh, that's my girl. That's my girl. That is my girl. Like,
and it's like, what's the big deal about it?
Yeah.
Honestly, what's the big deal about it? I don't know.
We
need to think big, and we need to dream, because that is where all the juice is. It's where everything comes from. And it's just a beautiful place to hang out. It's a beautiful place to hang out.
Secret sauce of life, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy G., you brought it up, I think, in a past episode. We also I think sometimes we think small with our goals because we don't have all of the skill sets yet to achieve that goal. Mm-hmm. Because, of course, if we could achieve the goal, we wouldn't be striving towards it because we would be able to do it right now. And so we forget when we look at other people that they started also without the skill set.
Everyone starts.
Everyone starts. Everyone starts
starts
at zero. Every single person starts at zero. Mm-hmm. And they just went out and did it. Mm-hmm. Listen to many stories, mm-hmm. and you're going to hear them say, I failed many times.
Yeah.
And that's something I always keep in the back of my mind.
But I'll tell you, the difference between the ones that succeed and the ones that don't, The ones that succeed keep their promises to themselves. When they
Yes.
say they're going to do something, they follow through and do it. All the magic lies right there. And like I
Yep.
always say, everything is on the other side of discomfort. Everything is on the other side of I don't want to do it. It's all the things you want is right there. Right, it's like you can touch it. It's right there. But you got to do something. You got to take some action.
I can't say that any better. Okay.
And on that note,
how many times have you, viewer, had a dream and automatically downplayed it? How many times have you wanted to go for something and automatically started, let me start small? What would happen if you started big? So comment, what is that one big thing that's you've always wanted? Let us hear it. Let us be your cheerleader again. We love being cheerleaders. We're really good at that. Make sure you share this episode with somebody who you know needs to hear this. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit like and hit notifications because every Wednesday there is a new episode.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.